It's a nice rainy evening. We love that. So we've had a lot of rain today and still raining off and on and lots of mud, but we'll get lots of green grass, which really helps for making good cheese. So looking forward to that. We're going to start out with the Texas Gold tonight. So this is one that we've had for many years.
Quickly.
Okay.
So see here, we've got all our cheeses laid out.
And that's been a favorite of many. And the batch that we selected for you was made at a really wonderful time. So really green grass. It's really creamy. The flavors are just absolutely fabulous. So it's a really great Texas Gold. They're always usually really good, but I feel this one is really exceptional. We like to really, save something for those who are part of the cheese club. So this one is just fabulous. You're going to just absolutely love it. So it's about, let's see, which one was that? What month was this one made? About 8 months ago, wasn't it now?
I think.
So I forget the exact date, and it's going to be paired with the prickly pear. So jam. And I know that jam is just what I would say terribly good. Because I kind of pulled some out of the fridge the other night, and I had about a quarter of a pound of fat-tailed Tom with that prickly pear, and that'll be our next pairing. But anyways, it is fabulous. The jam with the really Texas Gold. It's just a great pairing. Yeah. So enjoy that one.
So the jam is from a family not too far from here in De Leon. So they have some family land at their ranch. So they actually went and handpicked all these prickly pears because
that's cool.
So they went and handpicked all these prickly pears off their family ranch and then made the jelly with this. So it's very good. It's very local to our, right near our farm. So this is really kind of fun to have something extremely local like that to pair with these cheeses. Now this Texas Gold, we do cave age all of our cheddars. Not all these cheeses are from the cave, but if you want to talk just for a minute about cave aging versus I don't think any of these other ones, well, the paprika maybe is from the cave, but the other ones are in the other aging room.
Right, but they're both quite, they're somewhat similar because I kind of made it, it isn't a cave like the original one is, but it's above ground, but it's still concrete. Yes. And it does have a little different flavors in it, but
not even compared to, I guess, the others, but our cheddars versus cave age cheddar versus other.
Yes. Well, so that is a huge difference. So I can tell you a little story on that is when I started, what was looking into cheese making, and every story I read and people I talked to, they're like, oh yeah, if you have a cave, the cheese is amazing. And I really didn't know. So I just knew that, if I'm going to make amazing cheese, I better get a cave. So we built, a room in the side of a hill, a natural hill, and made a concrete vault and, covered it up, and we saw it air condition it a little bit. And I think what was really convinced me is when the first year I went to the American Cheese Society, and we were around a table of about 10 cheesemakers, and they got to my cheese, which is very intimidating when you're the newbie around the table. And they took two of these brothers from Wisconsin. They took the first bite, and they're like, do you have a cave? And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, we can taste it. And those brothers looked at each other and they said, we're building a cave when we get home. So it was pretty cool. So it really does bring in different flavors. We did inoculate it with molds and the right kind of cheese molds and wood shelving. And then just the earth being around this concrete vault. It's crazy, but it changes things. And it just really makes your cheese come out different than if it was in a whitewashed, sterilized room. And it just brings a lot of life and a lot of flavor to really all the cheeses. So it's a big, big difference.
Kind of in a live setting.
Oh
when you
yeah,
add
it's
those.
very much so. It's kind of cool because every cave, no matter where you're at, man-made or earth made, natural cave, they will have different flavors. And so I was visiting with this one lady from Canada about some cheese, and she says, I think these people aged this cheese in so and so's cave. She says, I got to find out. I'm like, how do you know that? Oh, she says, I can taste distinct flavors in it. And I'm like, what? But then, now I get it. But back then, I didn't quite understand it all. But this lady has a fabulous palate on her, and she can tell where cheeses come from. So pretty cool.
Yeah, it is pretty neat. So
Yeah.
So our cheddars are, even though it's a plain cheddar, still delicious and pretty unique.
Yeah.
What we do.
And of course, all the cheeses are raw milk. So they will have different textures and flavors because they are raw milk. And yeah.
And it does fluctuate throughout a year. So on
Oh,
this, so
absolutely.
what we're tasting today, we actually have the Paragon Reserve is just at a year. The Fat Tail Tom, this one's about 18 months. And then the two flavors are just at just over 2 months. So you kind of, and then the gold is 8 months. So you kind of get a good little taste of a year and a half of different a timeline. I mean, there are different varieties, but the animals were eating different things throughout the year with this. So
yeah.
The next cheese we're going to do is our Fat-tailed Tom. So this is a sheep's milk Manchego style with an olive oil rubbed rind. I know we've done this for Cheese Club several times. It is just such a good one, and it does pair with a lot. It pairs with a lot of the things that we do. So it's such a good cheese. So with this one with the prickly pear is really
oh my gosh, I know. Like I said the other night, I ate a quarter of a pound with it.
Well,
I just couldn't stop.
And then then this natural rind is edible. So
oh man, don't throw the rind away.
The rind, eat that.
The rind is fabulous. It's just full of flavor. It's just too good to throw anything of that. So these rinds are
that's a great
fabulous.
Pairing. The jelly is good with both the gold and the fat tail, but I do like it a little more with fat tail. There's just like a bunch of complexity that comes out in the cheese when you pair it with that jam. So there's like a whole different level of flavors that will come out, which is kind of fun.
Let them warm up too a little bit. Don't take them right out of the fridge and eat them. Let them sit on the counter for 20 or 30 minutes. It's fabulous when they just warm a little. Really nice crystals happening in the fat-tailed. So that's a little lactose in there that'll start to crystallize after a year. That's a really beautiful trait in the cheese. So that's what you want it to do. It's really gorgeous. Really nice cheese.
So this is a sheep milk. So the sheep are seasonal milkers. Here, I'll just show the rind here. We'll get that up there just to show that natural rind. But the sheep are seasonal, so they're dry right now. So they are just in their resting period. They'll be lambing again in December, end of December, early January.
Yeah.
Kind of depends on the weather a little bit, year to year, because they will only breed when the weather is a certain way. So they are all dry right now. So we're not producing any more sheep cheeses at the moment. That'll start up in the spring. So sheep are a little different.
Yep. Then we have the
autumn spice.
Autumn spice.
You want to do it next or do pepper?
I don't know. You got them in line here. We can do the autumn spice, I think. Okay. Let's do that, and then we'll get a little spice.
Okay.
A little heat.
Yeah.
So the autumn spice has quite a blend of different herbs and spice on the outside. Man, I'm not even sure what we all used on that stuff.
This one has, I know we always, it's Valencia orange peel. I know that's always such a unique one.
Oh,
Valencia
yeah.
Orange peel, nutmeg, basil, and rosemary. So it's those.
And this is, what, about 70 days
Mhm.
old, so.
Yep.
And you know, this rind is edible too.
And it's nice and thick.
nice and
It's
thick.
maybe the best batch we've ever made.
I
of
really
this.
think so, and the cheese itself is very creamy. I mean, it's for an aged cheese, you know, not long aged, but still considered an aged cheese. I absolutely love it.
Mhm, it's really
And
nice.
I don't think this cheese would age for very long, just because of the rind is quite an open rind.
Mhm.
And so what we done with this is we made it into a little bit thinner wheels, and then we took this herb mix and pressed it on, and then rotated a couple times to really press the herbs in. And then for salting, we brought it to the cave and we literally just sprinkled salt on the top. And then the next day we roll it over, sprinkle salt on. So it took about 6 days to put the salt on, just small amounts. And it's just very hands-on. No measuring to it really. It's just very however we feel. You know, kind of like a good chef. They just kind of like, you know, that much. And so it's kind of a fun, unique cheese. And you know, it's kind of different when I bring tours and they see that cheese, they, you know, a lot of people will pull their nose up. But I'm like, listen, to an artisan cheesemaker, it's beautiful. So so it's a really fun cheese.
It is.
We don't make it very often. We only make it for cheese clubs. So
Yeah, I think really these last few years, it's about the only time we made
Yeah.
it. So it's really kind of a special little run just for the club members,
Mhm.
and because it is a more labor intensive cheese, so we don't do big amounts
Yeah.
of it. Now the base this year, I think you did a little different. Is this a cheddar curd
No,
base, or it's the
mm-mm.
same as it was? It's
Yeah.
like the Paragon Texas Star
Yeah.
base. Okay,
Yeah.
so it's a little bit more creamy, a little more buttery.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think I changed it.
Okay,
Yeah.
it's nice.
So, and then we have the smoked paprika, Havarti, and nice smokiness, nice paprika flavor. It does have a little bite.
A little heat. Is it
Well,
warmth or bite, you
I
think?
changed
Oh, you
it a
changed
little,
it. Yeah,
little
what did
bit.
you do? I thought it was a
Well,
little warm this year.
It is.
Yeah, what did you do?
I put in a little teensy bit of ghost pepper.
Oh my
So I put in just a little bit of ghost pepper.
I wondered. I was like, man, that's got to be warm this year.
So it's kind of funny when I told Emily that I says, I'm going to get some ghost pepper. She says, I don't want anything to do with it. Because she says, if I get anything, she says, I just start sneezing. So, so I had to put a little ghost pepper in
Oh
there.
my.
Yeah, just a little bit. It doesn't take much either. You can overdo it real quick.
Yeah.
That stuff is brutal. I mean, you can kill someone with that
Oh
stuff. Yeah, it's hilarious.
Oh.
Well, that stuff's dangerous. Like when you take it out of the package, you know, I step my arms as long as I can and be very gentle with
Oh my.
moving it
Yeah,
because
you
the
don't want that in
dust
the air.
comes up, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's how we got a little heat
Oh
to it.
my.
It's not a lot.
No.
Maybe next year more.
Oh no. I mean, it's not ghost pepper.
No.
Oh.
That's good, right?
little touch of warmth. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's just a smidgen.
Yeah. Yeah. It
Yeah.
was a little warmer, but yeah, I think this cheese is so pretty.
Yeah.
It's really pretty for this time of year. You know, if you're hosting or anything, it's really nice on a cheese board. It was a pretty addition.
Yep.
Really, really mild. So this is very, very young as well. Just at barely 70 days, I guess.
Yeah.
It was it was just at age when we sent it out. So
Yep.
it's nice. Just
And you
easy
like to
go.
pair that with roasted potatoes and
I mean,
bacon.
it's so good. It's
I
like
know
there's
it.
just something about this one when you melt it over like any like French fries or even just roasted potatoes, anything like potatoy. It's very, very good. And then bacon, like savory meats, if you think any kind of, you know, even salamis it's good with, but this melts really well. So yeah, you can do
Yeah.
some nice, just some nice hot, either hot dishes like even just cheesy fries. It's really good that way too. So it's a fun
Yeah.
cheese.
Yeah. So this is what, the fourth time I think we made it.
Mhm.
Every time it gets a little better.
Yeah, it's better this one.
I know.
That's the way it goes, isn't
It's
it?
amazing. Well, it's good. We kind of keep learning and trying things just a little different. And the first year was kind of dry, and so I had to change how I added the paprika, and then the next year we added some smoked paprika to it. It's a natural smoke, no artificial stuff. So it's been pretty kind of a fun process to get where we are today.
Yeah.
So the Paragon Reserve, it's a year old. Paragon is one of the cheeses that kind of my first creation of cheese. And Paragon is really great when it's young. And when it's 6 months to 9, 10 months, it's literally not that pleasant. It's the craziest thing. It goes through a time when it's changing and it's just not that good. And then we let it get to a year or even more. I mean, it's good right now, but honestly, in 3 months, it'll even be better.
So?
Oh, absolutely. No, I'm telling you, 3 months, it'll even be better. It's crazy. This cheese is really, really good when it's a year or a little more. And it's just consistently that way. I've done it time and time again. And when it gets to be like 6 months, it's like, stop selling it. Let it get to reserve, because it's just gets the off flavors start to happen. Can't explain why that is, but it just does. So it's great young, really good. And it melts when it's young, really nice. We love using it on pizza and yeah, things like that. I mean, we just like to eat it too, but if you like to make pizza, it's a great pizza cheese. That and the Texas Star.
The younger one.
When it's young, not when it's old so much, unless used just for a topping.
You could do a micrograte on it if you wanted to melt this and just top like spike,
Yeah.
do a little spike on the flavor on the top.
But when it gets older, it's great, man. This is a great cheese with wine, red wine, and yeah, it's just fabulous once it gets a little older.
Yeah, it's
So it
really
just
interesting because
changes.
this batch is really smoky and kind of get mushroomy notes. Like it's really, it's very unique as it gets older.
Yep.
But the flavors totally change.
So,
Just very fun. We haven't had Paragon Reserve in a long time. I think
right.
It's probably been 3 years or so.
Oh, wow.
Before since we've had any of this available.
Yeah.
Just because we were selling all the Paragon Young and
Yeah.
um
Well, cool.
so it's just kind of, we had a few wheels that aged out to a year, and we thought, well, we'll use that. So
I didn't
it's
quite
really-
realize it was that long.
Yeah, it's been I said I have to taste this before we can even write up a description. I don't remember what it tastes like anymore.
Well,
Yeah, it's been several years.
It's a
Yeah.
neat cheese because it's one of them, like I say, when it gets a certain age, stop selling, let it go to reserve, and then it's great again.
Mhm.
And when that first started happening to me, I'm thinking, gosh, that cheese didn't last very long. But I did learn enough to leave it on the shelf and see what happens.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, one day I was in there, I'm like, I cored it, and I was like, oh my Lord, this is good. So there we are. Now we got a Paragon Reserve. So it's fun cheese. Yep. Okay. Well, anything else?
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, thank you all for joining us. Enjoy the cheese. And Thanksgiving's right around the corner. So enjoy the family at the holiday season. Thank you all. Have a good evening.